YouTube, what is going on? Welcome back to another video, and thank you for checking out this video. Really means a lot to me. I heard so much feedback in the last couple of videos. Really, the last a bunch of videos, I've gotten so much feedback, and I really appreciate it because it certainly helps me out as I try to, learn this YouTube thing and creating videos. So it really helps me out a ton, I'm so grateful that people are willing to actually give me their advice and perspective on how I can improve the channel. So I'm definitely going to be working on it, like the audio, the writing, all of it. Every video I'm going to try and strive to make it better than the last one. So just bear with me on this process. But today's video is a really cool video. It is a Super Mario Sunshine retrospective. Now, disclaimer, I've only played two Super Mario games ever. I played Super Mario 64 back in 2003, and then I played Super Mario Odyssey on the Nintendo Switch. I beat both of them, but that's it. I have no extra history with the Super Mario franchise. I've played a little bit of Mario Kart. I don't play a ton of Smash. I'm fairly a noob when it comes to most Nintendo games. So I thought it would be really fun to like dive into some of these older games that Nintendo has with a fresh perspective. And so the other disclaimer I want to point out is that I emulated this game instead of playing it natively because I don't actually have a GameCube. My brother actually has one, but I'm not sure if he actually has this game. And so it was just a little bit easier to actually emulate this game and record it on my PC. With that being said, Super Mario Sunshine is definitely an interesting game. When I first decided to play this game, I picked it at random and I checked out some of the, discourse on Twitter and just the internet in general, how the internet feels about this game, and it's pretty mixed. I was a little surprised. I thought most Mario games were pretty well received. Of course, I didn't know, but that's what I thought. But this game was very mixed. Some people were firmly against this game. A lot of people were starkly defending this game. And so I was really interested to see what my experience was. Now, as I started to play, I realized that I, for some reason, have inverted camera looks, which is really weird. I tried to change it, it just wasn't happening. So I was playing with an inverted camera. It wasn't too bad. Like I got used to it pretty quickly. I wouldn't say it like ruined my gameplay experience, but it definitely was a little bit weird sometimes. Even so Super Mario Sunshine is quite the game. And I believe there are two reasons why this game wasn't a great game. Um, at least in terms of like what the internet thinks and what Twitter thinks. Number one, this game is I can't even believe that how difficult this game is. Like this is ridiculous. I felt so stupid trying sitting here for so long trying to beat some of these levels. It's just I can't like this is I is one of the hardest games I've ever played. And I really mean that. Like this game had some of the most ridiculous things that I had to do for a star. Chasing around Bowser Jr. I mean it's Shadow Mario, but he ends up being Bowser Jr. Like chasing him around, the water. Oh my God, I don't even want to talk about You're gonna see in this gameplay here. I don't even want to talk about the watermelon fiesta. That was the like that thing pops so easily, and then there's those red things on the beach that constantly attack you. I mean, honestly, I was actually getting really upset because it was just so like this game is so tedious. Like that's the word I would use to describe Super Mario Sunshine. It is tedious. It is very difficult. It is very just tedious. Like oh my gosh. And then the other flaw that I mentioned, I said there was two. The other flaw is that the controls are janky, like really janky. Even for an older game, it's janky. And I understand that I was playing with an inverted camera look, but even with that, the controls are janky. Like Mario doesn't move very well in the air, and that's a problem because you have a jetpack with water that you actually have to sometimes like cleverly create your own path, and it just doesn't it feels very weird. It feels very off, and it's just not great to use Mario when he's like jetpacking in the air. On top of that, the parkouring in this game. Now, I understand. Like I said, I am a Mario noob, so some people are probably way better at parkour than me. But chasing around Shadow Mario was a hassle because sometimes I would lose track of him, and he's able to parkour instantly, where it takes me like a couple of minutes to actually get to the places that he's getting to. So that was a hassle. And like I said, the watermelon fiesta is the perfect example of how like ridiculous some of these things are. You have to push a giant watermelon off a cliff, and then you have to get it through the sand of giant red things that just throw you up in the air. And they can do it so many times in a row that they could literally kill you if you're not careful. Like you could get basically infinitely like attacked until you're dead, and then you have to just continue. It was so tedious. And then that watermelon pops at the first sight of contact with basically anything. It was such a tedious game, and you're gonna hear me say that word a lot because that is truly how I felt about this game. Now, it's not to say that this game was all bad, because I actually love a lot of what this game did. The jetpack is really cool. That's something that I'm not sure if that's ever been in a Mario game to that point. I don't think it was, but I'm not sure. And I'm not sure if it's been in a Mario game since. But the jetpack is a pretty cool idea. Basically, it's a water jetpack that Mario uses to clean up parts of the vacation resort that he's at, and you can also use it to shoot yourself up like a rocket, and fly like with a jetpack, and then also just attack enemies and wash them down. It's pretty cool. It's a useful thing, and I honestly thought it was one of the bright spots with this game. It was a really cool addition to this game, and since this game came out in the early 2000s, that was probably a really big like gameplay change for Mario games. So that was pretty cool. The theme of the game is also pretty cool. You do like the music in this game is really awesome. It definitely feels like a vacation summary type game, and the vibe that they were going for, I think they definitely nailed that vibe. It was a really, really good vibe that they had. The music was great. The sound effects were great. You even get Yoshi in this game, which now I'm not sure if it's the regular green Yoshi. I'm pretty like the one that I had was like pinkish or something like that. So, but still, you do get a Yoshi in this game, which is pretty cool. And it was fun to ride around on him. But like I said, this game is so tedious that it really kills I felt like I was playing Elden Ring, but the Mario version. Like it was so ridiculous. And I have to give props to the people who do speed runs on this game and who do strats on this game. I know that's a big part of the Super Mario community is people, doing speed running Super Mario 64. I have to give people credit because if you're able to speed run this game to any capacity, well, you're just smarter than anybody. Like that's ridiculous. And it got to the point where there were some moments where I felt like I was so smart, even just doing the smallest thing. It's like, oh my god, I finally got a star, and then I would feel like I was five head. And it was just, that's how like belittled I was with the difficulty. I mean, this difficulty was truly something to behold. And like I said, the controllers are janky and the difficulty's high, so that's ultimately what makes this game not amazing. But it is still fun. So like the hub world I love. It's basically this like resort. It's like the city. You get mistaken for Shadow Mario, so now you have to go clean up the city, and it's pretty cool. I mean, you jump into the statue, and then you have this own little world, and you do like 8 stages in there, and then you jump into the lighthouse, and then you're like on a beach and stuff. There's a bunch of little hub worlds inside the giant hub world, and it's pretty awesome. I think the stages were amazing. There is still classic like platforming Mario in this game too. Sometimes you just straight up have to like do obstacle courses to get a star, which is pretty cool. I think the one that I disliked the most was the Sandbird one, because that one was really, really difficult to get. But a lot of them were really difficult to get because that's the whole theme of this game. It was tedious. Now I do think like story wise, it's still the same. Like Peach is just captured, and she's captured by Shadow Mario this time, and I thought it was Bowser sending like creating some version of Mario to do it, but I was a little bit surprised that Bowser Jr. was the one doing it, and that's pretty cool too. Bowser Jr. thought that Peach, that she was the mom, like, oh, Mama Peach. That's what Bowser Jr. was calling Peach. So that was pretty interesting story wise. But man, it's just really hard to get around this game. And I felt like sometimes when I was playing the game, I was like forcing myself to, because I knew I wanted to do a review on this game. And it's not that I didn't enjoy myself. It was just so tedious. It was oh my goodness, it was really, really difficult. What are the other bright spots in this game though? So I think the graphics actually hold up pretty well for a Mario game. I think they're fine. Like I thought you know, especially emulating it, I thought that the quality was it was going to be a little bad, but it was fine. And I think I also love so I talked about the theme and like the resort and stuff, but the little characters that you can find like around the hub world are hilarious. You could just jump on them and then they get like a little upset and stuff. You can swim around in this game, and it's there are really a lot of bright spots. Like I think that if they were to make a second one of this game, like a Super Mario Sunshine 2, they could make it into a real banger because they would have so much to improve on. There's a lot of good stuff in this game. I just think that you're not even able to focus on it because of the fact that it's difficult and the controls are janky. And I understand that it came out in the early 2000s, so I'm not going to kill it because, you know, at the time, maybe that wasn't that bad. But even back then, I couldn't imagine, you know, I used to actually, the only other Mario game that I can remember playing other than Super Mario 64 was Luigi's Mansion, which I'm not sure if that counts as a Mario game, but it's in the franchise. And Luigi's Mansion is that was a difficult game for me back then. And I was also a bit scared of that game as a kid because, you know, I would always play it at night. It's ghosts, it's a little creepy. I get scared a little easy, so you know it was you know, I kind of got the same vibe with this game where it was like, man, like maybe I'm just not good at these games. um so yeah, I loved a lot about this game though. The worlds were really good, the music was really good. There were actually moments in this, so I want to talk about the stage design, and specifically just the stages, not really the hub world. So I think that the stages, when you were actually doing the platforming, that was probably the best version of the game. Just do even like the stage when the floor is just disappearing on you and you kind of have to just speed run your way to the star. I really thought those were really good, well done stages. The design of this game was interesting with the hub world and with, you know, the open world stage, you know, type modes, but the platforming stage is where this game really shines because it's classic Mario but 3D, and I thought it just worked. Everything else design wise was really, in my opinion, foolish. So I'm using the sand beach was the worst part about this game in my opinion. So if you go to the sand beach and you look at like let's just take the watermelon fest for example, that was so ridiculous. That was such a malicious design. You have these red things. There are red things on the beach, but there were so much more of them in that one specific level where you have to draw the watermelon all the way to the like other side of the beach, and there was like 30 of these red things that can just kill you, and you can't kill them at all. You can just stun them for like 10 seconds. And you also have a watermelon that's like you can tap it and it'll blow up and then you have to restart again. It was so malicious how they designed that. Like that was so annoying. I don't even know why they did that. What made them think like Mario's supposed to be a kids game as well as an adults game? It's not just an adults game. It's not supposed to be like Dark Souls. Like why is this game, why did they, I don't understand why they designed it like that. It really makes no sense. Even some of the red coin hunts, like they were so insane how they designed even the boss fights too. You know, I didn't talk about the boss fights. The boss fights in this game, even starting out in the very first when you jump through the statue at the beginning, like you straight up cannot have any boss fights that make sense. Like they're always something ridiculous happening where that just frustrates you. I think the easiest boss fight might have been Bowser at the actual end when they're in the hot tub. It's Bowser Jr., and then Peach is like above the hot tub a little bit. That might have been the easiest part about it because you just slam down on different sides of the hot tub and then you win. That was probably the easiest boss fight I've ever done. And then the only other level that I can definitively say was easy was with the wildflower level, which basically you have these turtles that are in the ground, I guess just sucking the life out of the wildflower. So you just have to like wet the turtles and then just stomp on them, and then yeah, they're gone. And it's like that. It's so easy. But everything else was ridiculous. The boss fights especially were ridiculous. I mean, just the one that I also want to talk about too is the carnival one. So basically, you're fighting Bowser Jr. and he's in this giant mech, and you're literally. So I said the controls were janky, and they are. and you're going full speed on this roller coaster with janky controls, a bunch of bullet bills chasing you from the back, and you also have to somehow shoot at this guy. It was I was just I was sitting there and I'm like, whoever designed this game, I want to know the guy's name. I want to know because somebody's got to pay for this. Like, this is ridiculous. I can't believe just what a game. Like, Super Mario Sunshine is rightfully so a very mixed game, and I don't blame people for having that opinion. A lot of what Super Mario Sunshine does, it works. The theme works, the music works. I think the graphics held up well, and the platforming stages worked. But the difficulty and janky controls are the two fatal flaws to this game. They just make it so unenjoyable. And a Mario game, look, I'm not saying Mario games shouldn't be difficult, but it shouldn't be to the point where you're stressing out trying to beat a simple level and then forgetting to have fun. Because at the end of the day, these games are supposed to be fun. Super Mario Odyssey was a little bit difficult in my opinion. You had to find all those moons, and I felt like, man, that was sometimes it got a bit boring. But overall, it wasn't that difficult. It was like, okay, yeah, like sometimes it'll get, it'll drag a little bit, but like if you just, play it at your own pace, like you'll be fine. This game, like, you straight up have, like, there's no other way. You're just gonna have to sweatband this game, and that is insane to me because, again, this is a Mario game that came out in the early 2000s. Like, it's just crazy. But those are my thoughts on Super Mario Sunshine. Like, I just honestly, if I had to give this game a rating, and again, I've never played too many Mario games before, so first time playing Super Mario Sunshine, my official rating for this game is straight up 5 out of 10. There are good things about this game, 1 billion% objectively good things about this game, but the bad things almost outweigh the good things. It's close because sometimes I really was enjoying myself playing this game. Sometimes I was really upset playing this game and I just had to take a break because it was actually like frustrating. So I think Super Mario Sunshine's a 5 out of 10. It's very, very in between. And I respect people who like the game. I respect people who don't like the game very much. But as somebody who's never played too many Mario games at all, I've only played like two, I can tell you this game is a 5 out of 10 in my opinion. But what do you think about this game, Super Mario Sunshine? Have you played it? Do you think it's too difficult? Do I just need to get better? Is it a skill issue? Let me know in the comment section. And thank you for the continued feedback. Like I said, I really appreciate it, and I am going to be working really hard to try and make each video better than the last. So let me know what I can improve on. I really appreciate all the feedback and support. Means a lot to me. I will see you in the next video. Not sure what the next video is going to be. We will see. It could be another retrospective. It could be, there might be some news happening. Who knows? We'll see what the next video is, but I can't wait to make it. Thank you for checking out this YouTube video. Peace.